test here. So it is not something that you can, in that sense, mistakes are bound to happen. People will not necessarily mistake, but not a truthful and a first-hand account that we are having. So if we acknowledge to that, which I know many people do, but still I have to open up to you anyway to tell you about it, because it does matter for us not to underestimate the possibility of, encouraging something evil and not necessarily God. If you are not in God's will, which from what we have here, we cannot be in God's will because we don't have the ability. If you drift out of this and you are on your own, your common sense, you'll be surprised that probably God will be the one who will be driving you and moving you here and there and, guiding your steps at all times. But you to trust this and give your whole heart to the written test, any written test, and thinking that you have to follow it through and through, and that by doing that you are ending up, people have failed. Most people, everybody who go through that fail in so many ways. We have to unveil much more also. I would like to touch on some of the issues that are found in this test again, which sort of gives the whole book away. Deuteronomy is a whole book that sort of gives us understanding of what Moses was doing at that time, since we know that it is not basically the honest truth that we can rely on, but at least some form of truth, some rumor in there could be very much truthful. At least we sort of will not entirely give our whole soul, to something which hasn't got the entire truth, or is not a first-hand account of truth, that we need. If we keep on in Deuteronomy 18:17, to continue with our search, it says here, "You shall not sacrifice to the Lord your God a bull, a sheep which has any blemish or defect, for that is an abomination to the Lord your God." No idea. Our idea is not worshiping what idols and all that. Even the Bible is preventing followers of the book or followers of God not to do what? Worship anything else. He's a jealous God, and he doesn't see why he should compete with anybody. If he is the God of the heaven and earth, why should there be any other? He's the one you should know. That's it. Now I pin out 3 and 4. Who has gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or the moon or any other host of heaven, which I have not commanded, and it is told you, and you hear of it. That's verse 4. Then you shall require diligently, and if it is hidden, the true and certain that such an abomination has been committed in Israel. The idea of consequences that you might go through, if you happen to defile or go against the will of God, because it is clearly stated in his 10 commandments that you are not supposed to worship any other God but him alone. It's one of the key, statement in the 10 commandments. In 11, it's revealed here again, 11 of chapter 17, to the sentence of the law, according to the sentence of the law in which they instruct you, according to the judgment which they tell you, you shall do. You shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left from the sentence which they pronounce upon you. You shall not turn aside or anything, that you have to go through it, whatever it is that is sentenced, that is you are sentenced to. Shall carefully according to all that they order you to do, following the being lawful and not lawlessness. You have to be very lawful. That's the whole idea. I mean, there is no way for you to be thinking that God is loving you conditionally, unconditionally. Definitely God is loving you with what conditions attached. There's nothing like the idea that being heard today by most people And because I don't blame it, because people have been lost from the whole idea and the sense of the true test or the true nature of the picture that they are supposed to have in their vague mind, that very imagination, the correct imaginative state that they should have found themselves into when it comes to God or Jehovah. They are thinking something different, or I don't know how somebody keep stirring the crowd and saying things like God loves you unconditionally. How is it accepted if you're going to read this text? It's very preposterous. It's really out of context. God loves you with conditions. Look at the words we are reading here. Are they saying that he has ruled this fast because Jesus Christ died for you? We will go into the Jesus Christ death, and we have gone into it, but we'll still go into it more because we relate it more to see whether the death of a man makes it impossible. Because even he says when he reigns, in 1,000 years that Jesus Christ will come to reign, he's going to reign with iron fist. Tough. So what the Jehovah's Witnesses believe in, if it is true, what would they make them feel that he's not going to reign with conditions? Because how can you rule with iron fist without conditions? That means he's going to demand from you and I, or whoever that he died for, your obedience, and that requires strictness, obeying, doing the right things. And if you don't, there is no mercy. He's going to put you through frustration and uncomfortable state. And if a spirit torments you, you can imagine. So many people are tormented these days. They're going crazy until you give yourself, you willingly give yourself, you sort of handing over, and you go. Today, as I said, I felt the spirit was cast upon me to frustrate me, to ruin my life in order to submit to the fellowship and the worship of what the Christian fellowship, the Christian worship today, which I realized that there isn't any tangible reason or good solid basis of it. I know it's false. There's nothing truthful about that. So no matter what spirit they put upon me or have been placed into my life to frustrate me, to give me nightmares, or to put me in a state of miserability and keep me in poverty or in need and all that, just for me to sort of give in, it just don't work. It just don't work, because I'm not the type, or I don't think you are the type, that willingly sees fire and put his hands into it. If you're a child, then you do that. But if you aren't a child, you're an adult, you are responsible for your own salvation. You are responsible for anything that is very conniving and deceptive, to be in a place to be able to identify these things and decide what to do. And that is what my situation has been. And I clearly know I'm doing something right for myself, not for you, but for myself. But I wish that you accept, you sort of give me that listening ear and understand what I'm saying. And I'm sure you'll be side by side with me, because no matter what, you may be enjoying now, but tomorrow there may be dooms ahead of you, and your sadness may end up to be a situation where it will be too late. There's nothing you can do. As I said in Revelation, is it Revelation 12? Yeah, as I said in Revelation 12, the little book, Revelation 10, the little book, a book that was eaten into the stomach. If you take something into your stomach and you are not careful that it is the right thing, and if, let's say, it's a poison, how are you going to take it out? If you get a message, you believe in something, you accept some God, and it is not the right God, how are you going to get it out? The spirit will torment you, because the spirit will hold you to the commitment that you made, the agreement that you made with him from the very beginning, whether it's her or it's him, the commitment you make with whatever God or whatever goddess, so you hold you to it, and it's not easy. That will be your torment, your snare for the rest of your life. Are you willing to go through that? It's better that you know it first before you end up there. I ended up there, and I face my torment every day. I probably should stand in the pulpit somewhere, obedient, and getting so much money from innocent people who haven't got a clue. But I'm here using YouTube, financial reasons, and reaching out to you. You might disregard because it is not coming in a rich style or in sort of a very appealing way with so much gadgets and music and funny things, very, very nice presentation. So you might disregard it, but that you have yourself to blame. logic means much more than foolishness. If some things are going on in a glittering manner with all the best and the fine presentation, and yet there